Why did you come back? You were gone. You were dead.
You could have saved
Whoever you wanted to and then saved the world. Why?
The world isn't gonna win.
It is. I'm trying to make sure we don't.
I started making these tapes because
Shut the fuck up! I was talking! Did I say you could talk? Shh! Not a damn beat! Shh!
Anyway.
You know, if they were their Walking Dead counterparts, I probably would have wished that they died in that plane crash. Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing another video. This one is going to be doing my very first review for the highly requested series Lost. This is the pilot part 1. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for today, this one we're going to be doing something a little bit different than usual. We're going to go ahead and do a review for the very first episode of Lost. So, this has been something that I've had recommended to me. I can't even count how many times, honestly, over the course of these 8 years on the channel. I've had a lot of people that have asked me, Dan, have you ever seen Lost? Have you ever watched Lost? And I've always said, no, I'll get to it eventually. It just, you know, I'm kind of busy with some other shows and stuff, and I just, not really sure if I'll ever get the chance and stuff. And then I also heard, and this was something that I kind of was put off by, and I've always heard this for many years, and it's honestly half the reason that I haven't watched this show up till this point, is that a lot of people have told me that this show has one of the worst endings of all time. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, when you hear something like that, you're kind of put off by it. I'm sure a lot of people could agree. When you hear that something ends bad, you're kind of not really motivated to check it out because you're like, okay, well then, what am I even going to get into this for? I'll just watch something else, So for many years, that's what I did. And a good buddy of mine always told me, and he's told me a lot recently, that this show ends very good, and that this show is good, and it is worth the watch, and I'll put it this way, I trust his judgment very much, and I think that this is, going to be an interesting ride for the channel, because we're going to review every single episode here on the Dan's Reviews channel. You can follow along if you're interested. It gives us something to cover while we're waiting for some of these other major shows to come out, and it keeps us kind of consistently reviewing stuff over on the channel. So, what we're going to do is every 2 days a week, which will be Mondays and Wednesdays, you can get a review for Lost. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to watch 2 episodes a week. I'll be reviewing them over on the channel. I've never seen this show. I know nothing about this show except for the fact that there is Terry O'Quinn, Maggie Grace, and a bunch of other major names. I know that for a fact, but that's pretty much all I know. I don't know anything about it aside from what I learned in this pilot episode. And now, speaking of that, now that we know all that, let's get into this pilot and let's talk about it. So, this episode, pilot part 1, there's 2 parts to this pilot, so pretty interesting. I've just seen part 1, I haven't seen part 2 yet. But yeah, let's go into this. So the concept of this series is already something that I really enjoy, is that basically this is a story about a plane that crashes on this island in the middle of frickin' God knows where. And they're stuck out there, and this plane crashed, and you've got all these people that survived. There is a total of 48 people that survived this plane crash. Obviously, some died, but 48 of them survived, and that is the general plot of this. And it starts off in an interesting way, because we pick up with our lead character, I assume he's our lead character for this show, Jack. And Jack is kind of just waking up in this, horrible, like jungle environment or whatever, and you've got this dog that kind of is, looking after him and stuff, and he's like watching him. I feel like there's going to be a big significance about that, but we do get a glimpse at this dog at the beginning. And then he hears the screams. He goes out, basically, he sees the people running, fires everywhere, the plane is split in half, stuff like that. And he is a doctor based off the information I've at least learned. That's what I gather from this. And he's helping some people, trying to save lives and stuff like that. You get Terry O'Quinn's character that's in here. You got Maggie Grace's character that's in here. You get a few other characters. I'm still learning the names, so bear with me. Shannon is Maggie Grace's character's name, but I'd say the 2 most prominent characters that we follow this first episode is Jack and Kate. who Jack is the lead, the doctor type, that sort of thing. And I'll say this, the first like 5 minutes already was hooking to me. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? You had the plane crash, you had him, he was saving people, stuff like that. You had like the top of the plane or whatever that was going to come down and kill this pregnant woman. He's like, get the fuck out of the way, you know? And it was a really intense opening to the show. Really good. And I love the setting. I love the environment. It looks really cool, really, really unique. And it's really great looking. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And basically what ends up going down is that you've got this woman that Jack kind of runs into. And Jack is obviously hurt from the crash. She's got a bad injury. So Kate kind of, comes up to him and stuff like that. And, she's kind of just a stranger to him. And he just says, he's like, all right, look, like, I know there's kind of a lot of pressure on you, but, can you help me, with my wound and stuff, kind of, fixing it up and stuff. So she helps him out of the goodness of her own heart, which is awesome. They were both great characters already. Like, I'm already invested in them too. I don't know what it is. And that is a sign of good acting, because honestly, I wasn't sure what I was walking into. I really had no idea. I've heard so many mixed things about this show, at least based off this first episode. These two actors, for Jack and Kate, completely was hooked. Completely. They're dynamic already. I felt it. It was raw. It felt legit. And I like it because the actors had chemistry. And that's what I enjoyed. If that's where they're leading to it with a relationship thing, that's awesome. If it's just them as friends, also enjoy it. I think it's great either way. And but I think it's a romantic thing. I really do, because the way she was kind of talking about him and the way she was scared about him at the end of the first episode definitely kind of led me to that. But anyway, you've got them. They're out there surviving throughout this first episode. And I like what they do, because they do show some of these characters. Obviously, not many of them are developed yet besides Jack and Kate, of course. But you also get this other guy that kind of comes with them on this mission in this episode, who is like part of this like band or whatever. And he kind of tags along with them or whatever. He was kind of funny. I didn't catch his name yet, but he was pretty hilarious. And anyway, you have them that are basically trying to find the other half of the plane to get, a message out to try to get some help, right? And that's what Jack is trying to do. And I liked it because they gave you a flashback in this episode as well of him in the plane with this woman who he was, trying to save earlier, right? And now you see why he was so motivated to save her, is because she was afraid of being on this plane to begin with. And, she was literally right next to him as the plane went down and stuff. So he felt pretty motivated to save her. Jack is definitely a sympathetic character right away. I can definitely feel for him. And he's relatable very, very quickly. You know what I'm saying? So he's really good. And the actor does a great job too. And on top of that, we had the scene where you see the plane crash from Jack's perspective. And then you had them finding the other half of the plane, which this was intense. This felt like a goddamn horror movie. I mean, this was good. Like, this was good. And I love the way it's filmed. It felt very immersive, the way it was being shot and the environment and stuff. It was fantastic. And I loved seeing the scene where they find the pilot. The pilot's been out for like 16 hours, and he's worried about, whatever. And then they tell him that 48 people survived and they're on this island and stuff, right? And I didn't catch a good look at it. I think that's on purpose, but something was coming after them at the end of the episode. Something on this island is seriously fucking with them. And it was crazy. It's legit sounded like a monster movie. I don't know what the hell it was. And you had Jack that, of course, split up from Kate. She ran away. She was terrified. She was looking for him and stuff. They get separated. You get this other guy that he kind of helps and stuff. And they kind of fake you out at the end. They make you think from Kate's perspective that Jack dies and that he's hanging up on this tree. And the way that they end this first episode, at least part one of the pilot, is that you've got the pilot, at the end of the pilot, that gets killed by whatever the hell this thing was. I don't know what, but this pilot is like skinned alive. So whatever it is, it's huge, it's aggressive, and there you go. That's the first episode right there. So I seriously enjoyed this pilot. I seriously did. I have no issues with it. I have a 10 out of 10 for this. It was immersive. It was really unique. I love the vibe that they're going for with this. And No, this was fantastic. This was absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, this is going to be a series on the channel. So, if you're interested in watching along with me, now is definitely a good time to hop on. We're going to do 2 episodes a week. We will do another episode, of course, next week, or maybe later this week. I don't know, something like that. Because they're going to be Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm going to keep to that schedule. But I may try to get the second part of the pilot reviewed sooner rather than later. You know what I'm saying? So that next week we can start with, just the normal episodes. But, yeah, this was fantastic, y'all. This was great. It's really, really cool. It's a really cool first episode, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what we have for it coming up here. So, post comments down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe and tune in with any other videos for Lost. Follow me at Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Lost. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.